Hi and welcome to Outdoor World Direct. Today we're going to take a look at the Airedale 6.0s by Outdoor Revolution. Outdoor Revolution have three ranges of tents in their collection. They have the entry-level Camp Stars, they have the mid to premium range Airedales, and they have their elite polycotton Kalahari's. So the Airedale 6.0s obviously fits into the premium range of tents. It offers a really durable 100 to 150 denier polyester fabric. It's got very thick, strong beams, which are the oxygen airframe system. Overall, because the tent's a little bit heavier than some of the Camp Star collection, the weight is 33.4 kilograms. The pack size is 85 by 56 by 53 centimeters. So with the Airedales, you get a lot more for your money compared to the entry-level products. So first of all, you get this thicker fabric, which is a much nicer fabric than the Camp Stars. It's going to degrade slower than a Camp Star, it's going to last you longer, and it's also a lot more waterproof with a 4000mm hydrostatic head. Secondly, you get that oxygen airframe system. So this is beams which are individually inflated throughout the tent. So they just inflate from the points by my feet here on each beam. Each beam will take roughly about 1 minute to 2 minutes to inflate. The pump comes with the tent as well, so you don't need to worry about purchasing an extra pump. That is supplied with the tent. The oxygen frame system has the intelligent frame relief design on it. So if you overinflate the beam or if it expands in hot weather, there's a system on here that will automatically allow air out of the tube. You can also get a lifetime warranty if you register the warranty within 7 days with Outdoor Revolution. So with it being an inflatable tent, it's really quick and easy to pitch. You simply just peg out the corners and you just inflate the beams and you're done. So it's about 10 minutes to pitch this tent, which for a 6-man family tent with full standing height and quite a lot of living space is a really great feature when you compare it against some of its steel or fiberglass pole tents at the same size. So the Airedale range can be customised. You can add a front extension, so there's a zip helmet up here, so if you wanted to add another living space on top of the tent here to the front, you could add the front porch extension which zips on to create a secure connection. This area is what we call the third zone, so it's kind of like an area to store things. If you've got muddy boots, wet clothing, that kind of thing, this is where you're going to leave it to dry out. It's a good area to sit of an evening if the weather's good. It can be fully enclosed from the elements because this door fully zips all the way down on either side. I've just opened it so you can get a bit of a better view into the tent at the moment. There's 2 window panels, so there's one here and there's one here. When these doors are closed, they have zipped privacy curtains on them. This window also has a zipped privacy curtain and a mesh panel for airflow, and then there's another window to the other side which has also got a zipped privacy curtain as well. So if you're sat in here for an evening and you want to cover the windows up with privacy curtains, you can do so. So also you can get a footprint ground sheet which comes with the tent for this area, so you can actually just get a ground sheet to enclose this area from the elements as well if you're caught in muddier or boggier conditions. So that comes with the tent, so it's not an optional extra. So quickly taking a look at the interior of the tent now. This is the sewn-in living space. This is the more comfortable space of the tent for living in. You've got the step-over front door here, so you've got a fully sealed perimeter ground sheet all the way through this tent where I'm standing now. And just here in front of me, that's like a D door, what we call a D door, because it means you have to step over to get in. So if you've got prams and wheelchairs, you just might want to be mindful that there is a slight stepping point to get into the tent. It doesn't fold, the ground sheet doesn't fold flat to the actual ground. So there's a slight step over point there. So that's really, as well, if you've got young children, something to be mindful of because they can trip in that area, though they have put the stepping point very low to the ground, so it's not too bad. Also, we have mesh windows either side, both of which are backed by privacy curtains. I've actually zipped the privacy curtain on this side closed so you can see the difference, but that's a mesh panel there, that's a mesh panel, but the curtain's up on that one. Mesh panels are great in polyester tents because they just get air in, so we're going to experience condensation in a tent like this because it's polyester, it doesn't breathe, so the more mesh the better. So you've got mesh panels here and you've also got a mesh panel on the side door here, so if you are in a wet weekend, a condensation heavy weekend, you can get plenty of airflow in to reduce that condensation factor that you're going to have. You also have a large window to my right hand side which again has got zipped privacy curtains, so this area can be fully sealed of an evening. It's fully sealed from the bugs as well because all the doors are step over points, none of them fold flat. You've got a cable entry point down in the right hand corner, or my right hand corner should I say, which is great for getting electric access into this living space as well. Just one last focus to the front of this tent. So this is the dividing panel or the dividing door between the two areas. It's actually quite a large door, so if you want you can actually zip it right back from the bottom and from the top, and you can roll it back to create a really large open door if you want to, or if you just want to combine the two living spaces. This door opens a good 65 to 70% of the panel, so you've got plenty of space here and you can create that 2-zone open space if you want to. So this is the mesh panel side door. You can see it's a really large door. It's obviously got a waterproof panel on the other side, so if the weather is bad you can zip that panel closed and keep the elements out. But if you want to get a really good airflow into this tent, you could just roll that back on the outside and have this really big mesh door here, so it's going to let lots of air in without letting the bugs in. Okay, so the last place to focus on is the sleeping compartments. This is one large 6-person sleeping compartment. Now I'd say personally it's better for 4 people, so you've got plenty of space. You're going to cram 6 people in here, whereas 4 you can have a lot more space. So firstly, what I'd say is the depth of these bedrooms is really good. It's 245 centimetres. That means you're going to get a camp bed in. Lengthways, absolutely no problem at all. The second point, a lot of people ask about whether it's got a zipped compartments between. This has got 2 zipped compartment dividers between the bedrooms. So you've got a 2-2-2 configuration, or what you can do is you can open it into one big 6-person inner, or you can close it off into a 4 and a 2. So it's up to you really how you use it, but you can zip these closed if you want more privacy and you want more separate bedrooms. It's deeper, as I've mentioned, and the fabric's quite dark as well. Now it's not a blackout bedroom like some of the other tents in the ranges, but it is a very dark bedroom. There's only Coleman that make a true blackout bedroom where it's completely dark, but the Outdoor Revolutions, they do reduce a lot of the light. But the beauty of these inner tents over maybe some of the blackout ones is they're going to breathe better because they've got more mesh, which means it's going to be more comfortable in terms of a night's sleep in here because it's more breathable. Whereas some of the blackout ones are actually got very few mesh ventilation points in them, therefore they don't breathe as well. So you're going to wake up with more condensation and more of an uncomfortable feeling compared to something with a huge mesh panel at the back like this has got. You've also got a lantern hanging point at the back there as well, if you're wanting to hang lighting from the inner tent. So as I've mentioned, you can make it into one big 6-berth inner, or you can split it into separate ones and it's darkened to eliminate that early morning sunlight. So lastly, let's take a look at the optional extras you can buy for this tent. We mentioned at the start there's a front extension to create a better living space to the front, so you get a double extension to the front if you wanted to. There's also a footprint ground sheet which fits under the perimeter of the sewn in ground sheet. That's going to protect that ground sheet from accidental damage. It's going to keep it dry and clean, so when you pack the tent away, hopefully the underside is nice and clean. Now if I had to pick an accessory, it would always be the footprint. When you're investing in a tent like this, always get a footprint with it. The last one is the carpet, which fits into that living space just there, and that just creates a bit of warmth inside the living space. That's really helpful if you're an early season or a late season camper and it's just going to take the cold off your feet. So to conclude, the Airedale collection's a great range of tents. This is the 6S. There's one very similar to it in the range. If you've seen it, it might be the 6SE. So if you're wondering what the differences are, the 6SE just has a side annex built onto the left-hand side of the tent. So you can get this tent but with a side annex already built on, and you can add an optional 2-person inner into that space. So if you're thinking this might not be quite big enough, that's another good option to check out as well. But as for this one, this is the 6S. It's a really good tent. It's got the 100 denier fabric on the front. You've got that kind of 4,000 waterproofing rating on it, so it's highly waterproof. You've got the really thick, strong beams. You've got the ability to add front annexes, to add optional extras throughout to make it more comfortable. You've got a 3-zone design. You've got loads of mesh ventilation as well, which makes it great for reducing condensation. I'd say overall this is perfect for that family camper maybe there's 4 of you and you're wanting a really comfortable premium tent that's not quite in the polycotton ranges but sits below that and still easy enough to port about and carry around. If you've got any questions, please do pop them into the comments box. Thanks for watching today.